Welcome to the AI with Arun show. At the outset, we request you to consider becoming a member. You will find the link in the description below. Alright, so, today we are looking at the single most ambitious AI project on the face of the earth. In January 2026, Elon Musk's xAI company officially pulled back the curtain on a, quote, gigafactory of compute. This is a project spanning 2 states, costing over $20 billion, and designed to consume 2 gigawatts of electricity. To give you a sense of scale, that is enough power to run about 1.5 million homes. This isn't just a data center. It is a sovereign infrastructure project that rivals the complexity of a small nation-state. Today we are going to break down the hardware, the controversial energy strategy, and the battle with the EPA that threatens to shut it down. First, let's look at where this is happening. We call this area the Digital Delta. The project is actually a massive campus split right down the middle by a state line. On the north side, in Memphis, Tennessee, you have Colossus 1 and 2. On the south side, in South Haven, Mississippi, you have the new expansion, codenamed MACROHARDRR. Why build here? It's all about logistics. They are right next to the FedEx World Hub, which lets them fly in heavy computer chips from Taiwan and get them into racks immediately. Plus, they are sitting right next to the Mississippi River, which they need for cooling. The goal here is staggering. xAI plans to connect over 1 million GPUs into a single system. They are connecting these facilities with dark fiber optic cables so they act like one giant brain, effectively treating the Tennessee-Mississippi border as one unified factory. In the construction world, building a data center usually takes 2 to 4 years. You have to get permits, pour concrete, and wait for the power company to hook you up. Elon Musk's company didn't have years. They wanted to win the AI race now. So, they performed what they call a 120 two-day sprint. They took an old, empty Electrolux appliance factory in Memphis and retrofitted it into a supercomputer site in just 4 months. This speed is legendary in the industry, but it came with a catch. They moved so fast that they couldn't wait for the local power grid to connect them. They had to bring in their own power, a decision that led to a massive legal battle we will discuss in a minute. Let's talk specs. If you are a gamer, you know what a GPU is. But what xAI is installing now makes a standard graphics card look like a toy. The first phase, Colossus 1, used roughly 100,000 Nvidia H100 chips. But the new expansion is moving to the Blackwell architecture, the GB200. Here is the technical leap. In the past, you plugged chips into a server. With Blackwell, xAI is using something called the NVL72. Imagine taking 72 massive GPUs and melting them into one giant superchip the size of a server rack. These chips talk to each other at 130 terabytes per second. That is fast enough to transfer the entire Library of Congress in a fraction of a second. This eliminates traffic jams in the data flow, which is essential for training smart AI. But xAI isn't stopping at the GB200. For the Mississippi facility, they are prepping for the Blackwell Ultra, or GB300. Why go Ultra? It comes down to memory. The standard chips have about 192 gigabytes of memory. The Ultra has roughly 288 gigabytes. This matters because xAI is trying to build System 2 reasoning. This is AI that doesn't just spit out an answer. It thinks first. It considers multiple possibilities, does complex math, or writes code. That thinking process requires a massive working memory, or context window. The GB300 allows the AI to hold way more information in its brain at once. When you pack that much computing power into a small space, you create a bomb of heat. A single rack of these new Blackwell chips produces 120 kilowatts of heat. To put that in perspective, that's like running 100 space heaters inside a single closet. You cannot cool this with air conditioning fans. It's physically impossible. The company had to pioneer a massive direct-to-chip liquid cooling system. They pipe cold water directly onto the silicon chips to carry the heat away. If the water stops flowing for even a minute, the entire supercomputer would overheat and fail. This brings us to the biggest bottleneck in AI right now: energy. To run 1 million GPUs, xAI needs about 2 gigawatts of power. That is roughly the output of 2 nuclear reactor units. When xAI went to the local utility, the TVA, they were initially approved for only 150 megawatts. That is less than 10% of what they needed. The utility company basically said, if we give you 2 gigawatts right now, we could crash the grid for the entire city of Memphis. So xAI had a choice: wait years for the grid to upgrade or go rogue. They chose to go rogue. To fill that energy gap, xAI decided to build their own power plants. In Memphis, they trucked in nearly 35 mobile gas turbines, basically jet engines on wheels, and parked them right outside the data center to generate power. In Mississippi, they are taking it a step further. They acquired an old power plant and are expanding it to create a permanent energy island capable of generating 1.2 gigawatts. This is called island mode. They generate the electricity and burn it right there on site. They don't even use the public transmission lines. They are essentially their own electric company. But gas turbines have a problem. They are slow to speed up. When an AI model starts a training run, the power demand spikes instantly. If the turbines can't spin up fast enough, the voltage drops and the computers crash. To fix this, xAI installed over $400 million worth of Tesla Megapacks. These are giant industrial batteries. Think of them like a shock absorber. When the computers demand a surge of power, the batteries discharge instantly to keep the flow steady while the gas turbines spool up. It's a hybrid system. Gas for the heavy lifting, batteries for the speed. Remember that liquid cooling system we talked about? It gets thirsty. Initially, locals were terrified. Memphis sits on top of the Memphis Sand Aquifer, which is a pristine underground lake that provides the city's drinking water. Environmental groups panicked, thinking xAI would suck the aquifer dry to cool their servers. This became a major PR nightmare. The company needed millions of gallons of water a day, and the community was ready to fight them to protect their drinking supply. xAI solved this problem with engineering. They invested $80 million to build a brand new water treatment plant. But here is the clever part. They aren't using drinking water. They are using gray water. This is treated sewage wastewater that would normally be dumped into the Mississippi River. xAI intercepts this water, runs it through a high-tech ceramic filter system, and uses that to cool the computers. It's actually a win-win. They don't touch the drinking water aquifer, and they even treat enough water to share with other local industries. They solved the water problem, but they ran straight into a wall with the air problem. Remember those mobile gas turbines? For over a year, xAI operated them by claiming they were non-road engines, like bulldozers, which meant they didn't need strict air quality permits. Residents in the nearby neighborhood of Boxtown noticed. They reported chemical odors and smog. Satellite data actually showed a 3% rise in nitrogen dioxide in the area. Then, in January 2026, the hammer dropped. The EPA issued a ruling saying, "No, you can't do that." They closed the loophole, effectively declaring xAI's permit-free operation illegal. This is now a massive legal showdown. It's not just the pollution you can smell, it's the pollution you can hear. Those gas turbines create a specific, low-frequency drone. Residents describe it as a jet engine that never takes off, running 24/7. Inside people's homes, sound levels have been measured at 60 to 70 decibels. Imagine trying to sleep with a vacuum cleaner running in the hallway all night long. While air pollution is a federal issue, noise is a local one, and it has driven a massive wedge between the community and the tech giant. So why split the factory between two states? It comes down to money. Mississippi offered xAI a 100% sales tax exemption on data center equipment. When you are buying billions of dollars worth of chips, that saves you hundreds of millions in taxes. Critics call this a shell game. xAI puts the expensive hardware in Mississippi to save money, but keeps the noisy, dirty operations in Memphis. Tennessee gets the pollution. Mississippi gets the investment credit. It's a brilliant, if controversial, economic strategy. Why go through all this trouble? Why fight the EPA, the locals, and the power grid? Because xAI is chasing Artificial General Intelligence, AGI. They are building this to train Grok 4, their next-generation AI model expected later in 2026. The theory is simple. The biggest brain wins. By clustering 1 million GPUs in one place, they believe they can create an AI with superhuman reasoning capabilities that smaller, scattered clusters just can't match. They are betting $20 billion that brute force scale is the key to the future. To wrap up, xAI's Gigafactory proves that big tech is changing. They aren't just software companies anymore. They are building their own power plants, their own water systems, and their own laws of physics. They are operating like sovereign nation-states. We are witnessing a high-stakes race. On one side, you have the environmental impact and the strain on local communities. On the other side, you have the potential for a technological breakthrough that could change the world. One thing is certain. The era of the sovereign cloud has arrived. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the AI with Arun show. We will be back soon.